Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this deck guide video, I'm going to take a look at Big Warrior. Yeah, you can play Big Warrior right now in Hearthstone. It's not one of the greatest decks. I had roughly 50% win rate with this deck, but it does have one major upside, and that upside is that this deck totally, utterly, and completely farms Rush Warrior. I have 100% win rate with this against Rush Warrior. I faced plenty of them. I have won every single game, whether I played well or whether I played poorly, they just crumble. Other than that, of course, the deck has some bad matchups like Priest. Priest is really truly terrible with this deck, because they just take everything that's yours and use it against you, and that hurts. So it's another deck that I would recommend for climbing, unless you're in a meta pocket that's really heavily Rush Warrior based, but it's a fine deck to play for fun, because you win enough games that you're not actually losing rank. Big Warrior survived the rotation mostly intact. Commencement is still here, Barricade is still here, the main synergy cards. Troublemaker is still here. Troublemaker is it's the best minion in this deck. We've seen with Rush Warrior that Troublemaker can just win games, and it's the same with Big Warrior. Getting some Troublemakers on the board, getting those ruffians hitting, that's just a lot of pressure. I've been fairly happy with this deck list overall. Although while preparing to record this, I took one last look at the statistics, and I would actually now switch the Kose Catch for one Coerce. I think that would still be a minor improvement to the list, but other than that, I'm perfectly happy with this one. As for the mulligans with this deck, you're generally looking for your early game cards, Athletic Studies, Stage Dive. You really want to draw that Kargat Blade Fist from your deck, because then you don't have that one in Commencement, and then you can have a Kargat Prime in your Commencement instead, which is much better. Then Commencement is a card that you often want to keep, cheating out some big minion for 7 mana, giving it Taunt and Divine Shield. That can just be game winning. And Minefield is one of the best early removal cards you have. Now, let's go take a look at Big Warrior in action, and if you enjoyed this content, please like this video and check out my Twitch channel where I live stream Hearthstone. Well, let's see about this game then. An Athletic Studies, but I think I want the armor, because I believe I'm up against a no-minion mage, and nowadays they usually don't run Deck of Lunacy, which means that they're more of a burn deck, which means that all the armor can actually be really handy. Kose Cash is attractive, but I think I can do it later. And I really want a Kargat. I just want some more armor, because I believe I'm against the burn deck. Oh, one of those rare people who actually run Deck of Lunacy. Well, Deck of Lunacy is still good in the slowest of matchups, like this one. Table overuse of RNG is what causes competitive attempts to fail. Absolutely. Because the game... I mean, the esports of this game has went down the drain. No one cares about it anymore. It's a joke. Because you can't gain a competitive edge. There's going to be a lot of Lunacy coming. I'm afraid that that deck of Lunacy with the ramp and the discount is probably going to be a bit too much. Everything in their deck now costs 4 less than usual. And they also have 2 additional mana crystals, so they're basically 6 turns ahead of me in tempo. And 6 turns, I mean, if somebody gets to start from turn 6 when you're on turn 1, that's typically a pretty bad position. Okay. Alright.
My powers are never truly gone.
2 1/1 copies of Egwin.
My powers are never truly gone.
Could they have lethal this turn? I suppose it's possible. 10 damage to the face with a Rune Orb. So that's sort of turn 6. Not bad. I'll have to roll this, of course. I hope that one of the 1/1s wins. No, the big egg won. Well, that's a problem. That probably means that I'll die, right? I guess I'll die. And there are no minions in the deck, so the death rattle doesn't work. But the immediate spell damage works. I mean, they do stack. You can get them to a single minion multiple times, but there are no minions in the deck. Oh, it turns out that all the cards that they had before Lunacy will actually burn. 2 Wound Orbs and a Fireball.
I'll be your field guide.
And they also summoned a random King Crush there. Alright, we have a commencement here. It's probably a Rush War and they have a lot of buffs, which means that it's hard to actually kill stuff with Samuro. It's kind of hard to kill stuff with Rokara though. Maybe an Imprisoned Wild Fiend can be useful. How is this deck versus Warlocks? I haven't met any, so I have no idea. I think I'll just play the Imprisoned Wild Fiend on the board. We'll get a minion in a couple of turns from that one.
You aren't even ready for this.
Okay, I don't want to let them have Playmakers, I suppose, so... Well, I have only one card here that kills the Playmaker, so let's kill it. Next turn we're going to get the Wild Fiend, so we can fight back a little better. They might choose not to play anything on the board, though. Because it would probably just get killed anyway. Say for a bigger turn. 2 copies of Athletic Studies. So -2 cost on their next rush minion. They do some big rush plays. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, I figured they wouldn't let this one kill anything. But they still delayed the game, and because they're the beatdown, and I'm the control, I'm always happy to delay. Alright, +2/+2 buffs, and... that buffed less than if they had just used it later on. That made no sense. These plays make no sense whatsoever. I have no idea what they're thinking. Next turn I want to go in the commencement, but I don't want the Kargat from the commencement. Let's play the stage dive now. I can also take this moment to play the Kargat on the board. Cleans up some space for that commencement play. There's of course still a chance to do sword and board rancor type of things. But we'll see. They have a few cards that are +2/+2 buffed from the conditioning.
Just keep moving.
So we'll need to see how this goes. That's another incredibly weak play though. Why do you keep making these incredibly weak plays? What? I think it's a coin commencement anyway here. I do not understand why they keep making these incredibly weak plays though. In general I would prefer to make strong plays instead of weak plays. Just my perception of how this game should be played. These are now unbuffed.
These old bones just keep moving.
Okay, another parade leader, alright.
Here for a good time.
This even has a death rattle, so it's really hard to get rid of it completely.
I'm not too young to fight.
Well, this has been curious.
You're in my school now.
Oh, big troublemaker.
Why?
Everything to the dome. Hey, that's the spirit. I think this is still a Rancor kind of turn.
Let's get some armor going, so that we don't accidentally die. Accidentally dying feels bad. Just my general perception of things. Hi, Barrett. 2 more buffed cards. That seemed totally useless. What more do you have? I know it's a little mana inefficient, but I still think we need the Troublemaker out there now. 1 buffed up card left. There could still be some big swing turns with some Playmakers and stuff, but... Do I look like I particularly care about that? Maybe I look like that. Maybe I look like a fool. Who knows? But be that as it may, I'm just going to hit them in the face some more. Alright, next move. They found a second Playmaker. This could be useful. And they had 2 Rokaras. But the minions still need to survive the attack to get the Rokara buffs. And not all of these can do that. So this is still just a defensive play. This is not a play that screams that, hey, I'm going to do things. It's still a play that just screams, I'm going to die a little bit slower. It's the most armor if I do it like this. And most armor is really what I care about at the moment. Nah, I didn't need that. I didn't need that for anything. Either way, this is fine. Nah, I guess it wasn't that great of a play after all. That was probably something better, but many control decks simply annihilate that deck, because that deck doesn't have that resource generation. They still have limited resources, even though the minions can be really big, minions can be really strong, but they're still limited in numbers. And control decks thrive in that sort of environment. Not completely certain whether this is fast enough though, in general, but now we get to do the matchup again, so we get to see a little bit more of it. Did I keep too slow of a hand? Because I can't effectively clear like a parade leader on 2 now. Well, we're about to see. Maybe it was too much to keep all of this. I probably should have kept Barricade and the Brawl and Mulligan to Rancor. Brawl helps me if they really get out of control. And that would have given me 1 more draw to try to pick up something for the early game. I may even have to spend coin on 3 to just put the Barricade out there or something. I probably would have taken the chance and played something on this board that turn if I was the opponent. Testing the waters a little, see whether the opponent has something to react with. Not bad. I don't have to spend the coin now though. I really don't want to spend the coin if I can avoid it, because it can give me some of those big minions on the board.
They cannot stop my work.
They can buff this only once it gets damaged. Is that information good enough for me? I'm a little uncertain. I could barricade or I could equip the weapon. I equipped the weapon. This game turned into 3D chess. What do you think is the best rogue deck? Some kind of miracle rogue, probably. With Alexstrasza and Kazagus and stuff. But none of the rogue decks are reaching above like 53% win rate, so rogue isn't very strong at the moment. That's the commencement that I've been looking for. We'll go for a claw machine here. Drop a little barricade on here, over here. I don't think I'll swing yet. I of course expect them to do a lot of things, but I have 2 brawls in hand, so let's see. Card draw. That is very welcome in that archetype. Very welcome indeed. Do I even want to spend the coin yet? I could just claw machine that one down. Draw a minion with +3/+3. If I coin commencement, let's use the claw machine. Do I leave the claw machine up on the board at the cost of 2 damage? That's acceptable too. Eight cards in hand, 9 cards in hand, 10 cards in hand. Actually a bit of a problem, isn't it? I have to swing into that with my weapon. 9 cards in hand. I didn't want to go to 10. What if they get to do their troublemaker first? Let's see. Here comes the buff, the Shield of Honor. Yeah. I figured that was likely. I may have taken this a little too slowly, because the rush minions can kill my taunt. I took this a little too slow. That was my bad.
What now?
Because the rush minions will kill my taunt. Took on the barricade there. They could also, yeah, wasn't as clean as the last one.
You're in my school now.
You gonna cry?
Troublemaker, eh? This will force a brawl. And hopefully the Troublemaker doesn't win the brawl, because if the Troublemaker wins the brawl, then I'm in real trouble. Troublemaker didn't win the brawl, so we might be able to survive this. Unless they have a second Troublemaker now. That would still be a problem. What about Alex? I guess Alex is also a bit of a problem. Alex to the face, hit face with the weapon. I would totally do that if I had Alex in hand. Yeah, okay. I made some mistakes here. But this was a good one. It was this or Runaway Blackwing, so it was still around 50% to have a good turn here. But I shouldn't put myself into a position where it's just 50% to have a good turn. I should put myself into positions where I just win. That's a much better position to be in. Full buffs, +3/+3. Alright. There's nothing with charge there, but they can get some really huge minions going. Okay, and then if they have some cheap rush minions to finish the job. Or that. That works too. Now I'm going to have to spend my rabbit. I didn't want to, but I'll have to. Didn't want to spend the rabbit there, but I needed to do it. The problem is they still have a lot more. They still have 3 more buffed up cards there. Those can get really scary. Oh. So 2 of these have +6/+6 at the moment. Most impressive. That's just 5 damage. I have a Black Proto-Drake, Rattlegore, Blackwing, and Scrapyard Colossus. There's 40% to get a Runaway Blackwing. I think I have to try to find that one. 11 damage going to the dome from those. There is a Troublemaker play. If both of them hit here, then this dies. I think I'll try for the Runaway Blackwing. Ah, sadly I didn't find that. Okay, now I could be in trouble. But it was only 25% to kill it with the Troublemaker. So, 2 heavily buffed up cards there. And there's still plenty of rush minions left. Well, it's definitely getting interesting here. That has a +6/+6 buff on it. Both conditionings were played with 10 mana. A big playmaker. Alright. And alright. This means that I will have to brawl next turn. Do I survive even with a brawl? They don't go face. Let's see what wins and what loses. Look at that. Always be ready to get lucky.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.